Hi, good afternoon, everybody. This is Frank Bryant over here at Medicare Gurus, and I'm coming to you live from our conference room here. Today's dojo, we are going to be welcoming a new team member. For those of you who haven't attended these before, we have a live sales floor on here, and everyone that's on our live sales floor comes in and out of this office to discuss things that are topical for actual selling, producing agents, answer questions, ask questions, talk about the weather, whatever it is, everything is on the table. You will see some people come in and you will see some people leave. As we are a live sales floor, they got to go make money too. So let's get started. I'd like to open up the floor here, and I'd like to introduce a new team member of ours, Stephen Choi, who's coming to us. This is his first day in. So there you go.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here and pretty excited. It seems like I was out on the floor when I did the interview process as well as today. And there's definitely like a buzz when people are on the phone, which is very exciting. So you can sense stuff happening, you can sense the energy, and I'm excited to be a part of it and eager to learn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's your first day. You got questions, so let's go ahead and fire. What do you got?
Yeah, I think I was kind of asking, kind of like the normal day-to-day, like how does the schedule go? Looks like people come in around 8, and then or even earlier to take care of some issues that they can take care of. And you're on the phone most of the day. Then you take a little lunch break, maybe around 11:30 or 12, and then you go back on the phone until 5. And it seems like a good schedule. I think one thing that that might be very useful to people who are actually listening to this, who aren't familiar with what you guys do, is it's not just making like 1,000 calls a day, right? It's not like calling and then somebody like seeing on their phone, like who is this person, and not even answering, or people kind of yelling at you. It seems like you're kind of, this is a service that people need. And I heard somewhere maybe like there's 11,000 Americans who are hitting the age of 65
a day.
every day.
Yeah.
So this is a huge need, especially with all the baby boomers retiring. So what it seems like what you're trying to do is provide them the best service possible. And that's it. And by doing the best service, you also get rewarded as being an agent.
So yeah, that's because of our structure, because we represent all the major carriers. I'm not here to represent Blue Cross Blue Shield. I'm not here to represent United Healthcare or Cigna, Aetna, any of those guys. I have all of them. So if I don't have a singular product line to sell or a singular company to sell, I better start focusing on selling myself. We have to provide excellent service, and in a way that's more conversational and open. You saw a great sale that Jacob conducted earlier, and you'll notice you talk about anything under the sun, it doesn't matter. They're building that relationship with you because you're going to be there for 10 years, 20 years, helping them.
I even had to catch myself during the presentation, and I had to stop because they were in Missouri. I wanted to bring up Missouri Anniversary Roll, and I was like, "Oh, there's something cool in Missouri." And they go, "I'm gonna do it at the end." And I completely forgot about it until we're in the cool down. She's like, "What was that thing you were saying?" I was like, "Oh, now I can tell you."
Right.
Yeah. You saved yourself from that major issue agents have when they learn all this stuff. They really want to share everything, and it's just not necessary. It actually confuses the issue.
But the cool thing to add to that is it's going to work to the way that you do things business-wise. So you see people come in, and I think that you are, you want to do well. You're probably looking for systems and structures of how things go. But in the end, once you get more comfortable talking to people on the phone, getting business done, your time is your own. You can come in here and get 4 deals before noon, So it is good. It's important to have a routine, coming in every day, knowing this. I mean, Jacob practically wrote that script, so he knows the cadence of that script. But once you get comfortable with your knowledge of Medicare and then parlaying it into explaining to clients about, how Medicare works and getting them into the plan that works for them, you'll start to realize, oh, okay, I'm my own agency. I'm helping these people and I'm able to, run the things I want to run.
Right. I think I think for sure it's you're in control of your own time. But when I see guys who are successful, such as you guys, it seems like you guys do follow a pretty strict time schedule because you guys understand that that's important for you to be able to produce. You can't just not show up because you're tired or something.
Right.
So you have to treat it. If you are going to think of it as your own business, well, you have to treat it like your own business and not be closed on Wednesdays because you didn't feel like coming in.
Well, I mean, it also goes both ways. There are times where you're not going to be mentally good to be at work. I mean, we work a lot, and that sometimes you get burnout, especially after AEP. You should take time, because what's the only thing worse than not showing up is actually being here and not being effective. Right? Where you sit there and you're spending your time and you're really just beating your head against the wall. You're not happy. You're frustrated. You're tired. You're exhausted. The clients pick up on it. You're not giving them great service because of it. I mean, it's a good balance that you have to achieve here. I'm not one for work-life balance. I'm one for peak performance.
Right.
You got to be on your game. So yeah, I mean, one of the things that you kind of look at is this. Guys that have been here for a while, we realize that our time is so valuable, we shouldn't be wasting it. Right? If I'm going to come in, each sale that you make isn't just the advance. It's not just a couple $100 in advance that you get. It's that client for the next 5 or 10 years. So each sale that you make is thousands of dollars of commission in your pocket. Well, if I'm coming in and I'm not ready, or if I'm coming in and it's not, or if I just don't want to come in, I start just playing hooky from work. Well, I'm actually costing myself thousands and thousands of dollars. So the things that I'm doing other than working better be damn well worth it. Because then once you get that mindset going of, I'm spending this amount of money to play video games all day, or I'm spending this amount of money to go out and get hungover and not want to come in the next work the next day. That's not a
good point.
Right. You have to look at that as a cost benefit analysis in your life. A lot of younger guys, they have trouble doing it. And then there's also the other flip side of it, where a lot of folks that get into this business and they're like, well, I'll take the easy money and go get a base salary job and make, an extra $5 or something like that an hour, but that's what they're always going to make. Right. And that's just that's not a good trade.
I think that's a good thing about this place is it will weed out those people.
Already has.
Yeah.
It continually does so.
Right. So it's almost like self-selective by the way the structure of payment is done.
And in our office, it's very unique because I have one rule on the floor. Don't burn other people's money, which is their time, and, create a professional environment where people feel good about making money. So when you have that going on, it's like, really the rules are be here at 8 because we're not giving that morning briefing again. Right. And if we're going to be spending all the money on the resources for you, you need to be here to take advantage of them. But outside of that, you make 5 sales in one day and it's 1 o'clock and you want to go. Well, who am I to say that? It's your time. I don't own your time. Right. If you're not going to make money, you're not going to make money. I don't get to apologize for that. So I like it because it does. You're exactly right. It weeds out people.
So I was reading something about what you guys told me and what I kind of read on the research. The AEP time, October 15th through December 7th, is pretty much a really busy time for everybody here. But it seems like also maybe January to April is also a busy time, or is it not
It's not as busy, but it's still busy.
Okay.
Yes.
And then summertime is a little lighter, and then that leads you into the fall again.
I think Jacob has a really good perspective of this because he started at the end of one AEP and then kind of went through a full year. You walk him through some of that, man.
Yeah, really. The only difference between it is you're just staying later and coming in on Saturdays during AEP.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can see here, we're in the second week of July, and I was only able to take 2 calls this morning, where we were supposed to get everything started, but I'm like, here, you just listen because I can't teach you this right now because I have to take this call.
Yeah.
So it's busy year round, but mainly what you're talking about is the opportunity to close. This is what we were talking about when we were actually eating lunch together just a few minutes ago. The reason AEP is so busy is because everybody can switch. That's the reason why, then again, January through April, anybody that's on a Medicare Advantage plan can switch. Same with AEP. But you just get so much business because that's what these seniors and these people on Medicare are groomed to think. Even the lady I just put on a Plan G, I guarantee you she'll call me in October.
Mm-hmm.
Say, all right, I want to switch. I go, this ain't for you. You have your time, your drug plan, and I'll check on your anniversary. This ain't for you. This is for everybody in an Advantage plan. But these people, through commercials, through everything like that, they get so groomed to, now's the time I need to take a look at my Medicare. Now's the time I need to do this. So I'll have people that might be on one prescription. They'll say, hey, I want to check my drug plan. Might send me an email. I'll take a look. I'll send an email back. We'll go and get the deal done. There's an easy $20-$40. And all it took was one email. But the reason that it was brought up, the reason that I could do it is because I can only do that through October and December. So really, you get these people, and this is kind of the worst thing about it's so busy, and that's why I was talking about scheduling and making sure that you almost create yourself a calendar and follow it strictly, or else you're going to get lost in the sauce. Is a lot of people that work during AEP don't work in April, don't work in May, don't work in June, don't work in July. It's all seasonal workers. So the people that these seniors are actually getting in touch with, they don't know shit.
No.
They are there, like I was saying, for a transaction. They're there to say, hi, I represent WellCare. You should get this WellCare HMO with a Part B give back of $40. What's your Medicare number? Sign the scope of appointment. Let's go. That's your AEP for everybody out there. That's why I said when we were going through kind of looking at the script and everything like that, the very first thing is, like you brought up, okay, like where do I start the conversation? Just start it.
Mm-hmm.
And just let it go. But when we get down to the actual AEP and working hours of it, I mean, again, it just goes back to you are in control of what you want to do.
Yeah.
If you want to come in on a Saturday, you can. But the reason that we work late during AEP is because we don't have barriers that we have in June or July, where we only might be able to help somebody who is on Medicaid, who might have a special enrollment period, or wants to change their supplement or their T65.
Or they move.
Here's the real crux of the situation is this: industry-wide, yes, AEP is where people do about like 60% of their business. That's not us. Our systems here, and as you can see, we spend a lot of effort, a lot of time making sure that constant opportunity comes in, and even if phones aren't ringing, which they're ringing constantly, that there's also other prime targeted lists to call. There's other leads coming in on our websites. There's always activity and there's always opportunity for you guys, which doesn't occur in a lot of other organizations. They just go, well, it's cheaper to advertise during AEP. That's where we're going to do all our business, and we'll fire everybody in, February. Oh, you're smiling because you've seen this happen, huh? Okay. So, but and this is a difficulty in our organization, which, Steven, since he's taken over recruiting, is starting to encounter this, I'm sure, which is when you explain to us what our production is mid-year, people are like, no, you can't possibly be selling that much. And it is. It's very high compared to the industry standard. And we're just getting started. Our guys are pretty much really new. So, I mean, most other agencies out there, they're looking at doing like 10 or 15 a month during outside AEP. When I was on the floor, I was doing anywhere from 35 to 75 for the month of July. And that was all subs back in the day. And it wasn't that far away. I'm not that old. This is more like
that was supplements
20
without a special election period.
Yeah.
Anything.
That was
no, you gotta get this by answering yes or no.
That was 2017. I mean, that wasn't even that long ago. So when people go, well, what do you do outside of the rest of the year? I sell my ass off because people still need it. Like you said, 11,000 people a day turning 65. They got to get something somewhere.
Right.
You know, Joe DiMaggio, or not Joe, John Elway, not John Elway.
Imagine you're making
Jesus, I'm like 1940s. Okay.
Great.
Oh God.
He recorded it before he died.
Joe Namath.
He's doing final expense.
Joe Namath isn't doing those commercials throughout the rest of the year. And that's the thing, is that the traffic's a lot higher. So it's low hanging fruit. But I'm not interested in writing the same people over and over again every year. The reason I got into this business is for renewals and growing a book of business. So I'll let those guys take all those easy, low hanging fruit enrollments, you know, make the $150 to $200 a day to get one sale. That's not us. We're like having 2 or 3 conversations a day to get, you know, 2 or 3 sales.
So if those other companies, if 60% of the revenue comes in during those key 3 months, for you guys, how much of the revenue comes from that? Since, you know, you guys have more consistent sales, what would you say? I mean, it's still a good 3 months, but in terms of like your overall book of, you know, sales over the course of the year, how much of that comes from those 3 months, would you say?
If we're not talking about renewal business and people coming back that we're servicing that are, you know, already with us for 5 or 6 or 7 years, this is the first year where we've had these new inbound call flows like this. So it's going to be hard to count the metric. But if I go back to our last acquisitions where we're doing that, it was about a 30 to 35%.
I was going to say about 35 for it, because we still had web gen leads last year that I loved calling.
Right.
Because those were, majority of those too weren't even on Advantage plans.
Right.
They're on supplemental plans, and there's just so many upsells.
And we're going to have those again for that time of year too, by the way.
All the commercials they see and everything like that, it's for just standardized plans. Here's a standard Advantage plan. Nobody brings up the ancillary prospects about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and those were so easy just to knock off. Okay, you want a better dental plan? I got you, sweetie. And you want final expense plan, cancer plan, whatever it is. Because people at that time of year don't focus on it. All they know is, I can write you into another Advantage plan before December 11th, or that's my birthday, December 7th, and get paid on it. But again, too, with a lot of the stuff that they're kicking out or people are submitting, you might find one person that's applied for 8 different companies, for 8 different Advantage plans. And do you know which one gets chosen? Which one? The last one in.
That's it.
So if you, like I said, if you have somebody who applies for a new Advantage plan every day of AEP, those other 70, 80 applications don't matter. It's whatever one goes in last. So a lot of those people, where it might have been for y'all too, you know, you might have not known that it got kicked back.
Right.
Where you thought that, I'm doing good. I sold 15 this week. Well, only 3 of them took. You don't know.
Right.
Here, you know everything about it because you're still servicing it.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in your paycheck. You show it through the QC. You show it through, like we were talking about interacting with the client post-sale, making sure they have your information, doing the follow-up and things like that. You're doing all of that to see that sale through. You're not just going, throw this one up there. We'll see if I get paid on it January 15th or so.
To clarify, in a lot of these call centers, your job, let's say you got hired by a call center, your job would be sales, acquisition. That's it. So any type of retention, quality assurance, following up on the business, you're not allowed to call them. And you're not even able to see the if the product was approved or not.
Right.
You just get it in your paycheck.
Now, the thing that Jacob just mentioned, I mean, for you guys, it probably seems, it makes sense. I didn't actually understand that part about like the last one in getting the plan. Like, what does that mean? I don't quite understand that.
It means last application submitted is the one that goes active.
So during October, so say you have an Advantage plan back here, okay? Say AEP started today, and today's October 15th. What you can do is you can put an application in for, say, a Cigna Advantage plan, okay? Now, you can have that application sit in there for all of October, all of November. If on December 6th, Steven calls you and goes, look, that Cigna plan is trash. You need to get this United Healthcare one. Well, if you sign up for the United Healthcare one, that's the last one you signed up for before the deadline. So that's what's going to go into effect. So for 2 months, this person, whoever got you the Cigna plan, is thinking, oh, I'm going to get paid on this. This is issued. But that's another issue with AEP too, and then processing everything. Whoever signed you up with Cigna is not going to know until January, but they don't receive any commission.
Oh, I see.
So you have to make.
So a person signs up with a plan, then they get another phone call. They're like, oh, this is a better plan, so let me sign up. So the first person, basically their plan gets null and void.
Yep.
So they lose everything.
Right.
And so the difference between those guys and here is you actually are servicing the customers the whole time. So
And you can see, you have visual on what happens to the status of that plan.
oh,
Yeah.
So if they apply to another place, would you know that?
Yep.
they're- Oh,
Because
then-
you'll get a termination notification.
Yep.
We operate under full transparency here, and there's also an ownership component of the lead in the client. When you pull that lead, whether they're call-in or whether you're outbounding, you either, depending on the type, it's either automatically assigned to you and exclusively to you, or you have the opportunity in the middle of that call to say, I want to go ahead and make it exclusive and set an appointment. You can do all of those things. And because of that, when they call back into us, if you've done your job right and they call back us, it goes back to you. You can go ahead and make that change. So
if you know they dropped you, could you also call them? Do you guys call them?
Yes.
back?
You can call them and get it back.
Yeah.
Because you signed up before.
Okay.
What it all comes down to is how much they trust you and how confident they are in the recommendation that you made. Because last week we did an example of, I mentioned to you too, that guy with the defibrillator. I had told him, look, the only company that I'm going to suggest to you is New Era, and here is why. So that way, if he talks to somebody else and they say, well, Mutual is $4 cheaper, why don't you go take it? I'm selling Mutual, buy this Mutual, it's cheaper than what you have. He knows the longevity of that New Era plan is going to be worth more to him than a Mutual plan that changes every 2 years. So if you can create that and erase any questions that they have, when they get that phone call and they pick it up, they say, no, I'm good. Stephen explained everything to me. I have no questions. I know I have the best thing for next year.
Mhm.
That's our job.
And that is policy persistency, how long they stay with us, how few drop off. We care about policies issued and policy persistency, and not just policy persistency, but client persistency.
Right.
I want to get new clients. I want to develop a relationship with a new client, not just make a sale. Those are transient in nature. That's a result of doing the right things.
Right.
And then I'm going to keep them forever.
So I'm kind of understanding you better now. So your job really isn't to sell. Your job is to inform your clients enough information so they actually then turn around, pick the right policy that's available to them, right?
It's more simple than that. I'm not selling a policy. I'm selling myself. That's what it is. They're not buying a G plan from Mutual of Omaha. They're not buying an Advantage plan from Cigna. They're buying me. I'm their guy. I am their concierge for their health care. I am their advocate. I'm whatever you want to call it. I don't cost you anything. But when you choose me, you're not choosing a company. You're getting me so I can facilitate that choice for you. So that's the key, is that, and this is where it breaks out, and a lot of people have problems with it, is because that takes time, right? People don't understand. You have to slow down to move fast. There are people out there right now that are making 200 dials a day, and they're not even getting a sale a day. I mean, that's a lot of activity, a lot of effort to have no result. And that's a lot of expense to have no result. And then their managers are turning up because they've never done it. And they're saying, well, make more dials. Yeah, you have to make $150 a day to make a sale. So if you make $300 a day, then, well, no, that's not the way it works. It's just not. And then, by the way, they also snuff out good salespeople because they go, hey, you did great. You made 4 sales today. You know what would make more sales? Because you only made 30 calls. If you made 100 dials, you'd make, 3 times that sales. And that just doesn't work that way. So the problem is that we keep on reinforcing bad behaviors that's put out by people who do not understand what you do, have never done what you do, and quite frankly, can't do what you do. So, and I was reading a good little tidbit on it. One of the biggest problems is I hate people that look at a dashboard all day, right? A KPI dashboard. Well, this is this. Dude, if you're in leadership and you're in sales leadership and you actually should know what you're doing, you shouldn't be looking at KPIs all day. They're just indicators. You should get your ass on the floor and actually help people. hop on the phone and close a deal for them. If you're actually going out face to face, you should be riding with your people to help them make sales so you know what's going on. But that's hard work, and people don't like to work hard. So they tend to be lazy and sit behind a desk all day and look at this guy had 20% less dials than this person. Well, yeah, they made more sales. What do you want?
And if you notice too in that presentation that we did for the T65 one, it's on the start of the second page of who we are. And I hit really hard on that.
Mm-hmm.
You hit really hard on that and say, look, we are not a turn and burn organization. I am here now. I'm going to be here when your kids get on Medicare, when your grandkids get on Medicare. I'm going to be here for you so you have one person to talk to, so that way you don't have to talk to anybody else. And you know I have your best interest in mind, and I'm going to check on you. I'm going to call you. I'm call her for her birthday. I'm calling the anniversary of her policy. I'm going to be here if she has any questions. When you treat people like that, that is not how anybody else does it at the call centers.
Yep.
It's all a transaction. The one lady that Andrew had to give me the headset because she called in because she got her admin card, so she canceled her Cigna. She was asking me what my wedding registry link was.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was like, I want to get something for you. And I'm like, first off, I don't know if that's legal. If that's like, is it rebating? Is that what it is? It's like, hey, get this policy and then buy something off the registry. I was like, I don't know if it's legal. I got to look it up. I'll text you. But two, she would not hang up the phone until she was allowed to talk to me. Because she just wanted to say how thankful she was and check in on me. And see, because I told her about the boat wreck. And that's why she was like, oh, did you finally get everything in the mail? Did you get your wallet back? Did you get this set up? Did you get all your bills set up? Like she was intrigued with me. She didn't give a damn about her Aetna policy.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even talk about that. She says, yeah, Andrew canceled the old one. Yeah, we're all good there. But how are you doing?
Right.
She cares more about me than the policy itself. If you can make that with every person that you interact with, no matter what you recommend, you don't, number one, have to feel bad for selling something. Never do. But number two, any recommendation that you make when you have that type of connection with the person, they're going to put their guard down. They're going to go, okay, you know more about this than I do. And this is your wheelhouse. I will let you make this call for me.
Right. Because
I trust you and I know you and I know who you are. So I'm actually kind of curious. I'm going to check my email after this. I bet you she got me something off the registry too. I'll have to submit that paperwork.
By the way, you can't tell clients that that's the way it is, because when you do, they'll go, yeah, whatever. You have to show it to them, and you have to take time to show it to them. Frank Todd used to say it really well. To be interesting, you have to be interested. So you have to spend the time with them. You got to talk about stuff outside this sale. You got to know about their life to see what actually is going to work for them, So it's like, being a realtor and trying to sell someone a $500,000 apartment. Oh yeah, it's a 2-bedroom downtown. You have 7 kids. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't figure it out. No wonder they didn't buy it from me. They should have gone to the suburbs and had a big house, right?
Right.
That's just the way it is, right? But now I can't even say $500,000. We're in Austin, Texas. That buys you. That's all you're going to get is a 2-bedroom outside Austin. So yeah, if you're lucky, here's your refrigerator box. That's only $250,000. But this is one of the things. But what you can tell clients, and you can be very honest with them, is the reason you take time is because it makes you more money. Because no one else does it. You can tell clients every day, hey, the reason I'm going to take my time because it's very important. And if I do this right, you'll go tell other people. You'll never leave me because I'm taking the time. It's okay to say that there's going to be an exchange involved in this, and I do this way because it gets me a reward. That's honesty. That's transparency. And people appreciate that. People really love it when they go, hey, I'm doing this because it's a reward for me. I do things the right way because I'm rewarded for it. And they go, hey, you're being honest, which is the right thing. You're going to get a reward. And I respect people that are open about that business. I don't respect people that'll sit there and go, I really care about you because you're you. Ooh. No, I don't care. I don't care about those things. I care about doing a fantastic job for you because that's what I'm paid to do.
People can see right through that too. And there's not everything is a one call thing. Like the guy I was talking to this morning when you were getting paperwork done and stuff like that. That is probably in combination. That's not even my deal. I've just been helping Brad with it too. But that started in March. And there's at least maybe 10 different phone calls. But now he just finally applied for Part B. And we've been through the IRMA discussion. We've been through, this is the lawyer guy I was telling you about. We've been through the IRMA discussion. We've been through what plan he needs, what his health is, prescriptions, the Part D penalty. We have been through everything. But he is just one person who, it's on his time. He's calling the shots. We're there facilitating. And sometimes you do have to accept that. You can pull the, look, I know more than you card, but people like that are just going to get pissed.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking to you for your expertise, but at the end of the day, they want the control, which is okay. You know, it's fine. If anybody tries to hard sell that guy, I tell you what, he ain't buying nothing.
No.
He's not doing anything.
Right.
Should never have to hard sell anyone.
But I tell you what, though, he's the one that's retiring now. He's got 4 people in his company that are going to retire here within the next 6 months. Guess who those 4 people are going to? Me and Brad. Because we've put that time in with him. He knows I'm basically on email speed dial. And he just asks me about numbers all the time. But I know when those 4 people retire, they're going to get our name. And they're going to call us. And it's not because I tried to hard sell him one call, close it in March when he didn't even apply for Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
He was just thinking about it. But taking the time and knowing him, knowing what he does, knowing how he operates, I know exactly how to talk to him once I'm on the phone with him. How I talk with him is going to be different from how I talk to Dottie that just loves me and wants to give me something for my wedding registry.
Mm-hmm.
He is more analytical. He has more numbers. He does not want fluff. He doesn't want a conversation.
Right.
He is A to B. How can we get there as quick as possible? That just comes with the expertise of it too. You have to be able to know what type of situation you're going into. Me and Greg talked about it last week where we have certain areas of the country that we do better with. This guy's from the Northeast. Versus the other lady who's from Oklahoma. And that's why she's giving me something. But it all comes down to they just have to, this whole business, they just have to have the trust in you. They have to know that you have their best interests in mind and that whatever you recommend, whatever you say, you actually mean it. You're not just saying it to say it.
And sometimes those kind of guys are more influential too, because they're so meticulous about everything. So when they pass on the information, they're not just saying, hey, you should go with this guy because whatever. He's actually telling you specifically why, because he probably did his due diligence.
And then other people like to take that shortcut because they rely on that guy because that's also their guy. But that's a very powerful referral because that's now, you got someone that you absolutely trust who's your guy and they have a guy, I'm going to use their guy because that's it.
Right. So his employees, of course, they're going to say like, well, if he's going with it, then we definitely should go.
Right.
You know, they don't need to do their own hours of due
People that you trust and respect, you will make major life decisions off of that. I've seen people literally break up a relationship with like their girlfriend because the people they actually, not just their friends, but the people they trust go, dude, that's a bad news, right? That's a personal relationship that gets broken off. So of course, oh, and also the endorsement, opposite end. Oh, she's a fantastic person. Great. That satisfies a big thing. If you think people don't make those decisions or those calls on that stuff and they don't listen about their insurance, come on, that's a minor thing compared to who you end up marrying. You know, it's huge. You're exactly right, Steph.
Yeah.
And, you know, I did a lot of research on the websites and you really, on the Medical Guru website, there were a lot of people who were doing personal thank yous to the agents here, which is very different than other places. Other places, every other one was kind of a complaint where like, hey, they sold me something, they told me this, and then in the end, that wasn't the case, right? But here, the difference was that you could, and that's what attracted me, was the reviews actually showed that the people who you guys were servicing were very appreciative of all the work you guys put into it, right? Which is very different than if you're just trying to sell a policy and move on to the next person, you know? So I thought that was great. And, you know, if you guys were doing more like promotion, you should almost point to that because on the other sides that you'll see a lot of complaints about the agents kind of misleading them and not kind of trying to put the best plan in front of them, but just trying to like you said, trying to turn over the sales.
Well, right now I'd love to promote more, but we don't have enough capacity on our floor to handle much more.
Right.
And that'll end up causing bad reviews because we just don't get to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do that delicate balance. We need to bring on about another 15 or 20 people total for the rest of this year, and then we'll be good. But I mean, it's a great problem to have.
I'm a sucker for those review twos. I eat it up. Anybody here's a policyholder watching, just throw my name out there.
Jacob Crotty. Yeah, then not even if you're a client, just say you like
not
him.
even if you're a client, just make up some sob story about how I saved your kitten from a burning apartment, and then we got a Mutual Omaha application knocked out too that saved you $7,000 a year. No, but I love those. Because if somebody takes time out of your day and you read it, it just makes you smile. It does. It makes you smile. At the end of the day, you go, this is why I do. If you ever need motivation, just go read those. Read those and how impactful they are for some. I can't tell you how many people under that they've left 3 years now, 3 different reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one is always better than the next one.
There is that one review that was on there where it was a glowing review, but they didn't understand the concept of ranking 1 to 5. So that instead of saying 5 stars, which they said it inside the review itself, they put 1 star. I'm sitting there going, God, I wish they had done that right.
So now we're at 4.8 instead of 5.
Yeah. It's like, this is what happens when you don't tip.
I remember that. The first time I took a Uber ride.
Yeah, see, you're not the only one.
I gave somebody a 4 thinking that was a good score. And my friend's like, oh my God, dude, you just ruined his score.
Yeah, you just ruined his score.
I just gave you a good ride and you just bombed him with a 4. And I'm like, hey, 4 is good, isn't it? It's like, no. You have to give him a 5.
It's either 5 or 1. That's it.
But then again, there's the other concept of like Yelp, and we're in a generation post like Yelp where people would give amazing service and amazing everything, amazing food. Like, this is one of the best meals I've ever had in my life, and all this, like 4 stars. And you're like, well, what does it take to get 5? And I always thought that was really funny. People tend to get very, very like nitpicky with stuff, which is a testament to like why our scores are so high, is because
think of pre-sell. I mean, even if we went back to like 2000, yeah, maybe there were some like, computer type, Yelp type stuff, but before we really have these phones, Rob, I mean, it's like everybody has a say now. And it sometimes gets to be too much where everybody has I just went to Jimmy John's and 4 stars or whatever, 5 stars. Every little thing that people do, it's like non-stop rating in a strange way.
Oh, I got a 4, I would cry. I'd cry on camera.
they should do that on a dating app.
But
Just watch people's own personal views just go, oh God. I'm sorry, if you got a low.
I'm afraid of a 4, so that's why I do a 5-star job. There you go. Reputation.
Just put grades on Tinder.
Isn't that another episode from Always Sunny, one of the newer seasons? Where Dennis, where he's like, I'm a 5-star man.
Yeah.
And he goes through like all these dates and everything, and like it goes back to the dating where it's like nobody wants to hook up, and that's all he wants to do, and so everybody downgrades it.
Oh God!
I'm like starting off at 5-star, down to 4-star, down to 3-star, down to 2 stars. Then Charlie has a better rating than Dennis does.
Yes.
Oh
And
no!
it freaks him out because he's like, I'm a 5-star man. I'm a 5-star man, and nobody treats him like it because all he wants to do is just hook up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He just turns into this creeper, and everyone's just rating him terribly. He's like, no, that's not right.
That's right. Well, I mean, that's a good allegory for most sales.
Yeah.
They just want to hook up right now. They don't want to have that long-term relationship, which the sad part is in our industry, all your money's made on the long-term relationship. So why don't you gestate that?
I think what I'll start doing is another excuse to rewatch Always Sunny.
It's always,
Yeah, I'm glad you compared us
It's just
to
pull out
Tinder.
sell stuff.
Yeah, that.
Just comparison to Tinder. Then there was one.
well, what other one is there? I don't do social
I was
media.
just laughing. It's like, what we do is very similar to Tinder.
No. I said, why don't they have a rating on that? We are not like
That's
that.
what I'm saying. You compared it to like, you don't want to rush things. You want to put your time in.
Yes.
You want to go out with them. You want to treat them right.
Get to know
Get to know
You want to do 4 dates? No.
them. Yeah.
No. I just, but I mean, honestly, Guys, what's our average talk time on these people before we even get to the point? Hour, hour and a half?
I would say minimum hour.
Right.
Minimum. The hour, the extra 30 minutes is the application going over and filling out, but
This is
hour minimum.
Jacob's spoiled. This is all he's done in Medicare here. This is all I've done in Medicare here. What was y'all have outside experience, especially with Medicare call centers or Medicare product call centers? What was y'all's time frame?
Well,
Back in the other place.
we would, being a supervisor, what we would do is we would rate the call, and part of rating it, length would be included.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were on the call longer than 45 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
that means that something was wrong. That means that you're not closing. You're not in application.
I got in trouble a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they punish you for taking your time with the client.
It wouldn't be reprimand, but it would be part of the metrics that we would review.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I can't be surprised because that's what most people do. But then again, most of those guys own the hiring 200 agents, and those agents will average about 3 a week.
Not any of them would have gotten through that one we did where it was like 5 different calls because headache issues.
Oh God. Oh.
We had like
That's a
at
10
least
star
5 or
review for
6
that one.
calls, at least 5 or 6 calls that were lengthy.
That basically you had to have the patience of a saint.
Yeah.
Which Penny did. But
You get it?
Guess what? Hubby is signing up for Medicare too this
Right.
week.
Right.
Right.
So Hubby needs a plan and a drug plan. And
Right.
he is 10 times as healthy as
Yeah.
the wife was.
Right.
Thank you,
And
Jesus.
I
But-
am sure that everyone they know will know all about me.
Well, I think there's a lot of stuff here, and you're going to see this too, Steph, is that there's a lot of self-exploration and what we put on there, even the script itself. The script is great architecture, and it will teach you all you need to know. But ultimately, it's your conversation, man, right? You're going to have your own style, your own thing that goes into it.
Yeah.
But to not allow you to explore that and to not allow you to try to get everything humanly possible to get this sale done, to make you rush and penalize it, I get why it happens. Most other places, they pay you a W-2 base, to pay you a salary, and then they pay you some crappy bonus one-time payment for each app. And what they're really trying to do is motivate you to get as much done to justify that salary as humanly possible.
That's correct.
And then they keep all the renewals and all the back end. That's treating you like a commodity. And you're not a commodity, you're an asset. And assets need to be learned, they need to be nurtured and developed in a portfolio over a long time. And then, that's why our relationship with you, if you guys leave and go start your own brokerage, you still have us as an FMO. We're fine with it, right? You can do what you want to do here. And that's one of the beautiful things about it. We don't trap you, but we also don't want to make you go down this rabbit hole of having to do so much more effort. I mean, it is a pain in the ass to make $150 a day and to only talk to 1 or 2 people and then be rushed through that to where you don't get that sale. That's just absolutely mind-boggling. From a resource perspective, I would rather have you do everything humanly possible to get on the phone after 1 or 2 calls and make a sale, and then not rush you to make the next one. You'll make another 1 or 2 calls and then make another sale. I mean,
Yeah.
1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, right? That's 2 a day. That's 10 a week. That's 520 policies in a year.
That's 6 figures.
That's way more than 6. I mean,
Just to start.
Oh, yeah.
That's 6 figures.
I mean, and that's not hard if you just let people take the time to do it.
Yeah, I think people might want to know so if you do 520 sales, because you did 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, what does that, of course, it's not going to be exact numbers, but what does that actually equate to other than the residual income down the road? But
Right.
in terms of your income that year, if you did 520 sales, what would it?
For agents just outside in the regular world, or agents here doing,
Right here, because I
Uh-huh.
think we want to promote this place versus the other.
if you're doing sub sales,
Let's do major medical, which is subs and advantage plans.
well, you get paid more on Advantage.
That's what I'm saying. Let's keep it average. We're going to use the terminology.
like-
No, I want to lowball it
That's okay.
because you get more upfront from an Advantage plan, but then you get more long-term from a sub. So I'm just going to go with sub right away because,
Okay. I just
so
wanted to add advantage plan to it because that's the majority of our business right now.
you end up making
Yeah, it depends who you're.
the advance on an Advantage plan is more.
Okay.
So to put it at Advantage plan would give a little bit high, in my view, a high roll or a high
Okay.
ball.
That's
We're going to be
fair.
doing a lot more subs here shortly.
Okay.
So times 12 times average career commission, it's about 22% street.
This is where people are really paying attention on the stream.
So
Watching Frank do calculations.
outside, you mean inside here? Let's do outside agents.
Let's do
We
here.
said inside here.
Why would
Okay.
anybody care about what is going on outside?
4 stars.
Seriously.
4 stars.
We
Really?
are down 4 stars. Your rating
All right.
is
Maybe Frank could,
plummeted.
Frank could throw in what the outside.
About 80 to 85,000 after your cut where you're paying out for the lead and everything else. That's in your pocket net.
Okay, no, that number's important because I said 6 figures. That is just subs that or considered major medical. That's lowball. That is not even adding the ancillary products at all. That is adding no ancillary products.
Right.
Yeah. So that's
Which I tell you what, it's a whole hell of a lot harder to sell 520 straight supplemental plans than it is to sell 200 advantage plans, 200 supplemental plans, 100 final expense plans, 20 dental plans, whatever it is.
Right.
You're going to cut your teeth a whole lot more because with those supplemental plans, you're doing one per person. You have to find 520 clients
Mhm.
versus finding what?
Which-
300 who get 2.
by the way, that in and of itself, as long as your lead sources are good and as long as you do the right things, even that's not hard.
Mhm.
520, if doing this the right way, that's great for the world. But look at mine, Brad's, even yours when your first year here. That's not even really working hard. I mean, once you get your stuff together on that, you get your lead flows in.
You
So
don't
let's look
get
at-
pulled away from
You
it.
don't get pulled away from it.
Let's take that 520 and put it in a 3-year window.
Now, hold on one second on this. For outside agents, if you're doing it alone, that's over $250,000 in commission. But when we look at the actual incidental cost of lead acquisition and things like that, also, all the other things on there, an outside agent, if you're looking at their closing ratios, which are, everyone goes, well, you sell 30%. Bullshit. You absolutely don't. Because if you did, I mean, you wouldn't be going bankrupt. Right?
Mhm.
On lead acquisition cost. An average web generated lead is about $35. That's just the traffic to get it to your website. You want to go with really poor robot transferred leads, where it's just like an IVR where they just dump it in. Someone's calling for some weird, free food benefit or something. That's about $60, $70 per lead. And the closing percentage on those are only about 3 to 5%. So I find it very funny that people are like, yeah, I'm closing this much. Everyone says the default, I'm closing 30%. And someone who's closed 30% on web gen leads alone, I'm telling you right now, they're probably not. So, and that's one of the things, everyone kind of deludes themselves. They keep on parsing the numbers down and down and down, like, oh, well, I don't count the ones on Tuesdays because Tuesdays aren't a good sales day. So all those leads don't matter. I'm like, no, they matter. They count. They cost you money. So a lot of agents out there, will make about 100, 125 their first year and only take home about $25,000.
And we have an agent here that experienced that,
Right.
who's not doing what they're doing anymore. They're here, so that doesn't happen to them anymore.
It's things go to scale. As with anything else, when you're buying in bulk at scale, costs go down. Flip side of that is also the time it takes for us to build you up to that proficiency. The amount of reps you get with actual qualified clients here is far above anywhere else you'll find. That's why it's important when people want to come in. That's why it's hard to get into the mentorship program here. We tell a lot of people no when they come in. They're like, no, this isn't for you. Because our time's worth a lot. And there's someone else that's going to make use of that time. So yeah, if you're looking at that, when we do a 35% split of all street level commissions in our office, right? If you don't make money, you don't make money. That was because of your activity. Mainly because you also know other people around you are making sales with the same exact resources as you. And that's the big key on here. You can't sit there and manipulate your opportunity for each agent. You can't say, well, I think this person does well here, send all this stuff there. No, you have to have a bucket. People have to be able to go out and just pick out stuff and make their own determination. Because if you start monitoring that effort and those leads and start going, well, this guy's great, I'm going to hand feed him because he's going to even have a higher clip. What does that do to everyone else? What does that do to them? You know, ruining someone because
They don't care.
they don't care. Well, not the person doesn't care.
No, the business doesn't care.
Well, that's the whole point. The business should care because they're shooting themselves in the foot.
No, they'll just replace them.
Well, that's the problem. It's $50,000 to bring on a W-2 employee. How many times are you going to do that and not recuperate any of that cash?
I agree. It's a poor business model, but think of it. They're keeping all the renewals.
Yeah. And even then, that sets up the long-term failure of that business. These companies that are doing that right now and have done it in the past have universally either sold at a certain time and then failed or failed out completely. This is
We're seeing it. We're witnessing it now.
right. Corporate vulture capitalism doesn't work. Right? I'm sorry, it just doesn't.
It does if you're a C-suite vice president who's climbed the ladder and now you're just sitting on a nice little fat salary and you just, bark orders at your underlings.
Even
That
then,
was great.
You talking about Frank?
Oh, not at all.
I'm not a vice president, thank you very much.
I'm talking about outside businesses.
CSO, CFO, CPO.
Whatever I am one week or another.
Whatever C you are.
How dare you? No. So
Chief three-pronged officer, C3PO.
We want leads. from
Any-
Jacob.
ooh,
4 stars.
hey, yeah. Just 4-star bomb them. Oh, that's what we should do. Everybody, 4-star bomb them.
He's not smiling.
No, he's actually looking angry. Okay.
Don't burn this place. Nico, strike that from the recording. So the
No, it's live.
Yeah.
We're live.
We're about to commit PNC fraud.
We'll burn this.
So
I swear to God, what are y'all gonna make a bank account to? Because I know you would do it too. You
I would
just
never
like,
do that
Let
to
me see
you.
if we can get him.
I would never.
Jacob was just the sweetest gentleman to help me out with my plan. 1 star.
I
I'm
know
not
they
doing that.
could, because I think there's a spot where you can erase it too, right? The leaders.
You
Just
delete
to
the
mess with
review.
Jacob and then like.
Oh, Lord. Well, I mean, that's one of the things, I looked back in the past and I saw too many people go through this over and over again. And it's really difficult to watch. But at the same time, now that we're hiring and we're bringing people on board internally, there are people that go, oh, no, I just want to go work at this other shop because of the security there. I'm like, well, you're not going to have any security there. You'll get paid an even amount for your efforts, whether they're high or low. That's not security. That's just a line item expense that you're going to get cut.
Those positions just seem so cheap to me now, and especially like as you had said, where whatever it is, the W-2, and then it's like, it's like a very, very, very. It just seems flimsy. It seems very, very flimsy, and that being said, yeah, it's just for what it really is worth in the terms of a career, to be a licensed agent and then look to say like just, they were just, like penny slots, you were in there just cranking them out, where in the grand scheme of things, they should have had more of it, they should carry a little bit more seriousness, or at least, responsibility, even in that sense of the term, where, these are your policies, keeping it in your career of lifetime, you should have some kind of, interaction with them, or at least some kind of ground of connection to them.
Well, and it's also a matter of time management. The round of connection is how much time do I invest in my clients? Well, I invest as much time in my clients as I need to make them clients and to maintain them as clients. Make them happy no matter what. It doesn't mean I never promise anything to anybody when they're a client. I tell you, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to spend the time on it. I'm going to do everything I can. And then I do that. I take the time, But the issue that you run into is that, you guys are you're all my clients. All of y'all are. Right? That's the whole nature of this relationship. So I just find it really, The concept of putting a dollar amount on anyone's time is really just gut-wrenching to me. Like, who am I to tell you that your hour of your time is worth $20 or $40 or $100 for that hour, right? It's just not right in my mind. And it's the same thing for the clients. Who's to tell that I have to put a cap on my interaction with a client on this phone call and put a time limiter on it, because I'm only making $200 off of this sale. Why would I do that? It's weird. It's a weird notion. And then also there's the other thing of it. You know, we've lost track of what's really valuable. I've seen, and I hear this all the time from the other people I know that run Salesforce, or are subject to the whims of outside areas, where you have top performing people, like, you know, the top 5% of their company in production, and they're getting pissed off and they're leaving their companies because their managers are getting mad because they didn't put in a full 40 hours. That's insanity to me. Who cares how much time they spent? They're doing better than everyone else. Maybe they're just better adjusted and better rested, you know? Or the other flip side of that is, sorry, you can't come into work because you're already at 43 hours. Got to stop all revenue. Can't have you doing that overtime.
Right.
What? Make money, bring revenue, build clients, make people happy. All these things are very important. No, HR doesn't want to do paperwork for granting overtime. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's another huge problem when you consider some of those hierarchies of, like, you know, managers, where you've got people that don't have anything to do with being an actual agent, kind of like herding these people like a shepherd, like, you know, like the sales messiahs, I guess you would.
Well, that's why it's in.
Buckley, we're talking about John the Baptist.
Yeah, well, that's the important thing, is that as we progress and we grow, we understand that we're building this cadre of people that you have to have done this to do this. I'm not going to put anyone underneath someone that doesn't know exactly what they're doing. It's not a cool thing to do. It's just not. No, sorry. Doesn't work because they'll find other creative ways to fill their time to bring what they perceive as value to the position. And the sole purpose of everything involving this sales floor is to facilitate helping you make sales, not justifying a salary. So that's why, you know, hell, get on the phone, answer the phone. That's it. So, no, I just think it's all over there. But ultimately speaking, it's a really good place to be. I enjoy it still. So you guys actually make it really great to be around.
Yeah.
So
It's a good place here.
So any other questions, man? I mean, we just went off on a wild tangent.
No, I think, I'm eager to kind of get really going and get to the point where I can, function independently, right? I don't know how long it took you guys for that to happen, but, I'm eager to learn and get to that point.
Yeah.
That's probably a good question. Like, how long does it take to get to a point where,
Well, as you know, like a lot of it's like, for instance, you know, you could put that kind of like symbolism on a few different things, but just like setting up your computer properly,
right,
you know, little things like that. Oh, I'm gonna, you know, and you already probably know, you know, okay, I like to use this application. You know, I'm gonna take a little time. Just, you know, like the CRM for the in-house, customer tool. You know, so little things like that you just have to piece together. I'm still branding. You know, I've still got stuff to learn when it comes to these types of things. But I think it's going to be pretty, just familiar to you anyway.
how long have you guys been here?
I came around
Came in March.
April.
You were in April?
Yeah,
Okay.
late April.
John, you've been around here for 4 weeks
A
now?
few weeks.
Yeah. No, 3 weeks. You've been here for 3 weeks now?
So John's off the chair for being the rookie, yeah?
Right. No, actually, that's exactly it.
I'm the newest newbie.
Welcome to the hot seat.
Right.
Welcome to the hot seat, man.
Yeah.
You're going to be on the phone making calls today. Again, that's the whole point, is the repetition of action is what you actually learn
Right,
on.
that's what I need, is to actually go through the process.
Right.
We're not going to send you through 20 days of training and all this other stuff that doesn't actually bear any fruit. So no, you get to do it today, and you will learn at your own pace. That's fine. You can't screw up. That's the wonderful thing about it. You can't. So we'll be good. You'll be on the phone here probably in the next hour.
I've seen people out there talking to the clients, and it's very promising.
It's very relaxing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have fun.
Right, it's not a stressful, anxious
Well,
feeling
you're
out
like
there.
serving them, so that's different than. I think there's a real difference mentality-wise between knowing that you're doing something good and then benefiting from it
Oh, yeah.
versus pushing something that
Mm.
they might not even need and then benefiting off it. So,
Right,
so this is crucial because the more I read, and I'm just learning, but I realize if you don't do stuff correctly when you turn 65, it could have some negative impact for the rest of your life.
Epically
Right.
negative.
So it's important that you actually educate the folks that you're talking to in
right,
terms of making the correct
right.
fundamental decisions at the beginning of when they turn 65,
Mhm.
so they don't have to suffer any
Right.
negative impact down the
Mhm.
road because nobody explained that to them.
Well,
Right.
it's also a matter of learning how to make that connection with them and build that rapport with them and do the proper discovery so you can actually make that connection. Because even if you're great at giving that information, if they don't believe or trust you, they're not going to accept it.
Right. I think that's where what you guys were talking about the whole time is like, hey, initially you need to have them trust you and have to build a rapport.
Yeah,
And that can't be done in 2 minutes.
No.
Right.
You can't call somebody and say, hey, now we have rapport, right? Because we know each other's name. Like that doesn't work.
Hey, how about them Cowboys? Woo! Okay, let's go do this.
Right. So,
right,
so that only you can only really build that with a genuine conversation with them.
right.
And people can sense it. Even through the telephone, they can sense somebody who's just trying to sell something to them and not really care about that.
It's actually far easier for people to recognize bullshit over the phone than it is for them to do it visually.
Okay.
Because stress is best read through voice, right? It's easier to tell if someone's under stress through voice. And if you remove all the other visual cues, people can pick up that you are not right, you're not feeling good, or you're just absolute full of shit right away. Because that's just what it is. I mean, generally speaking, most people, as an evolutionary tool, we were able to cue in on sounds of vocal stress. No.
There's less distractions when someone's in their setting,
Ooh.
as opposed to, the chaos of, face to face or, in a
Right.
group setting where, someone's, Miss Smith's on her couch just listening to you. There's no, like you say, there's no bull, there's no BS. It's just, one, one single type of, what would you call that? Auditory response, really. You don't have to worry about anything visual, anything other. It's the one sensory, just the
Right.
vocal.
Well, the thing though is with that, it's just like when people say, this person went blind and all of a sudden they can hear and smell better. Well,
Right.
if all you're doing is listening to someone on the phone, that means you're hypersensitive to those inflections and that tone. And it's very, very difficult for someone who's not a full-blown psychopath to pass on their vocal inflections in a natural manner if they're not being honest. Right? You got kids. How many times you've been talking to your one of your daughters and you can just tell that she had a bad day?
Yeah,
And she's like, "Hi, Mom, how's it going?" Well, you're like, what happened?
yeah.
You're
Right,
faking this. What happened?
right,
That's
right.
so imagine that's all of our conversations. So you better be honest with these people. You better be upfront with them, and you better start to get them talking. So.
Mhm.
really
And it's
helps.
okay to say, I don't feel good today. I don't know. I just woke up funny, and make that your conversation. They have lots of things to tell you about their health because that's part of getting to know them. I mean, not that you have to have a big, heavy health conversation every conversation, but that's part of the job is to figure out what is it they need.
Shared
And
experience.
and
Yeah.
you've got the goods behind you. You know that if, for the folks, you know the type of call where someone's in something, there's a good fit for them, there's something that that's just ideal for,
Right.
you're really setting them in the right
Yeah,
in the
those
right
are the ones that really feel great.
yeah, like that was it almost takes care of itself, I mean,
Yeah,
that was the right type of thing, and you're actually sending a policy, some paperwork, a card, and
Yeah.
you're putting something physical in their pocket. It's a service that they're going to really
benefit,
something
yeah.
tangible. Yeah, something that for a lot of folks, yeah, it's really concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's physical. Yeah.
Yep, that getting that emotional response gets you that physical reaction, and then they sign up, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Good on that. So on that note, I think we are on a good stopping point for today. Steph, I hope to have you here on a lot of these. So, but anyone else who's interested in getting more information or learning more about sales or selling insurance, especially Medicare insurance, go to insurasales.com and sign up with the Insura Link social media page for insurance producers. It is only for active producing agents. So if you want to learn more about sales and things of that nature while avoiding the pitfalls of trying to get recruited by a bunch of other stuff or talking to carriers, it's not for that. It's for actual real sales producers to actually come in and share and take from each other and make a better industry as a whole and make more money for each one of us. So feel free to go ahead and do that. There'll be a link in the description below. Also, if you have any questions, if you're in the Cedar Park or Austin area in general, Austin, Texas area, and want to learn more about the opportunity here in our office, feel free to call us. You can reach us at the number on the bottom of the phone here, but that is 844-694-8787. Again, that is 844-694-8787. And, just ask for Stephen Grip and he'll talk to you and get you over here. Okay. So guys, have a great day.
All right.
Cheers.
Back on the phones.
Back on the phones. Oh.